Welcome back to Fireside Fears. If you enjoy chilling, immersive horror stories told in the dark, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button. Now, let the fire crackle, let the night settle in, and let's begin. I grew up on a dead-end street with maybe a dozen houses. It was quiet, isolated, and honestly pretty boring. The kind of place where nothing ever happened. But there was one thing everyone on the street agreed on. The old garage on the corner of Birch Lane felt wrong. Not haunted in the movie sense, just wrong in a way that got under your skin. It had no windows, just a warped wooden door with rusted hinges and a single padlock that looked older than the house itself. No one had lived in that house for years. The man who owned it disappeared long before I was born. People said he was strange. People said he collected things no one should collect. People said a lot of things. When I turned 17, my friends and I started hanging out outside the garage at night. It was stupid teenage bravado, daring each other to get closer, to knock on the door, to try the lock. It always felt colder near that place, even in the summer. We made jokes to cover the fact that we were uncomfortable. The jokes stopped the night we heard something move inside the garage. It was late, past midnight. The street was silent. We were standing about 15 feet away when something scraped across the floor inside the garage. Not a small sound, a heavy, dragging noise like furniture being shoved. My friend Tyler whispered, "Something's in there." And I told him to shut up. But I couldn't look away from the door. The padlock rattled, not because of the wind, because something pulled on it from the inside. We ran. No hesitation, no discussion, just pure animal panic. But I made the mistake of looking back when we reached the corner. I swear, the door was slightly open. Only an inch, but open. I didn't sleep that night. I kept seeing that thin slice of darkness in the doorway. The next morning, I walked past the garage again. The door was shut tight, padlocked like always. No footprints, no signs of forced entry, no reason for what we heard. I tried to convince myself it was a raccoon or something, but raccoons don't pull doors open, and they definitely don't drag things around heavy enough to shake the floor. Over the next week, things escalated. I started hearing noises at night. At first, soft tapping, then scratching, then slow, deliberate knocks. Not on my door, but on my bedroom wall. The wall that faced Birch Lane, the wall closest to the garage. One night, I heard something even worse. Breathing, slow and wet. Right outside my window. I froze. I couldn't move. I forced myself to look, expecting to see someone there. But there was nothing. Just darkness and the faint shape of the street. The next morning, I found dirt smeared in long streaks across the outside of my glass. Finger-length streaks. Too long to be human. They reached all the way up to the top of my window. I told my mom. She said it was probably a prank. I told my friends. They said I was imagining things. But none of them offered to stay over. 2 nights later, everything changed. I woke up around 2 a.m. to the sound of metal bending. It was deep, metallic groaning, like something was prying open a steel door. It took me a few seconds to understand it was the sound of the garage door being forced open. I looked out my window. It was pitch black, but I could hear it. I could hear the door being peeled back like aluminum foil. Then came the footsteps. Slow, heavy, wrong. They didn't match the weight or cadence of anything that belonged walking on 2 legs. They scraped at the end of each step, like something dragged beside it. The footsteps reached the middle of the street, and then they stopped. I could feel it looking at my house. Not see it, feel it, like a pressure in the air. Everything went silent. Then, directly beneath my window, something whispered my name. Not loudly, not dramatically, just softly. Like it was testing how it felt coming out of a mouth that wasn't built to speak. I almost screamed, but nothing came out. My breath locked in my throat. When the sun came up, I went straight to the garage. The door wasn't torn open. It wasn't damaged at all. In fact, it looked exactly the same as always. No marks, no scratches, no sign anything had happened. But the padlock was gone. Just gone. That night, I left my window closed, blinds shut tight, and I slept with the lights on. But around 3 a.m., something strange happened. My phone vibrated. It was a message from an unknown number. I thought I should come inside. No punctuation, no context. I blocked the number instantly. But then, the knocking started. Slow, rhythmic. My bedroom door rattled in its frame. I screamed for my mom. She didn't wake up. No one did. The knocking continued for almost 30 minutes until I finally got enough courage to yank the door open. There was nothing there, but there were footprints on the hallway carpet. Long, narrow, dragging prints leading from the front door straight to my bedroom. They stopped right where I had been sleeping. I don't remember much after that. My mom found me shaking on the floor. I told her everything, and for the first time, she believed me. She grabbed my arm and said, "We're leaving now." No hesitation, no argument. We moved out within 3 days, packed everything, left the house key in the mailbox, and never looked back. Last week, out of curiosity, I searched the address online. The house is for sale. The listing mentions newly renovated garage. There's a photo. You can see inside the garage for the first time in years. The floor is smooth concrete. The walls are bare. But in the back corner, barely visible, is a long, dark streak running from floor to ceiling, perfectly vertical, too straight to be natural, too dark to be just paint or shadow. And the listing's description says the same phrase that was texted to me that night. I thought I should come inside. The fire's burning low now. If you enjoyed the story, stay close. There are many more to tell. Until next time, sleep with one eye open. You're never truly alone when you're near the fire.